Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy says Preston Hemphill will not face criminal charges in Nichols' death.
Hemphill was the sixth officer named during Nichols' confrontation with police back in January that led to his death. The traffic stop caught on camera showed Nichols was tased, pepper sprayed, and beaten by Memphis police officers.
These 5 other former MPD officers face several criminal charges in connection to Nichols' death, including second-degree murder.
Stephen Reels joins us live from the Shelby County Justice Center. And Stephen, what's the DA's reason for not pressing charges against that former officer?
Well, Rudy and Pepper, a lot of moving parts went into this decision. DA Mulroy says that Preston Hemphill has been very cooperative throughout their investigation and says that Hemphill is also eventually expected to testify in trial against the 5 former MPD officers. Video footage shows Preston Hemphill among the first Memphis police officers on the scene when Tyree Nichols was pulled over January 7th near Rains and Ross Road in Memphis. He deployed his taser and is seen chasing Nichols down the road. Actions Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy don't believe meet a criminal standard.
We're not endorsing what happened, but we do not believe that criminal charges are appropriate.
DA Mulroy also said because Hemphill wasn't present when other officers initially removed Nichols from his car, he had to make decisions with limited information in a matter of seconds.
We realized that at the moment that Mr. Hemphill was trying to taser Mr. Nichols was not fleeing towards the neighborhood, but was in fact heading towards an open car door of a police cruiser. And that had to bear weight on our evaluation of his decision.
The city of Memphis fired Hemphill from MPD for violating multiple departmental violations, but Hemphill remained involved in the ongoing DA's office probe.
Mr. Hemphill was very cooperative throughout the investigation. Throughout that entire time, we consulted with the family of Tyree Nichols and their attorneys and kept them informed.
Ben Crump, the attorney representing Nichols' family, told DA Mulroy that while the family supports Hemphill not being criminally charged, it is our deepest hope and expectation that justice will be served fully and that all who had a role in this senseless tragedy will be held accountable.
Hey guys, as you can just see, he gave the particulars of how Preston Hemphill is going to help the prosecution convict these 5 officers in the Tyree Nichols case. Guys, I'm gonna tell you something. There are 4 questions that I've been thinking about since I did my first video on this earlier today. And I wonder if you guys have been thinking the same thing. So when I'm done doing this, regardless if you agree with me or not, leave me a comment because I definitely want to hear from you. Maybe I'm not the only one that's thinking crazy, but this is the first thing I get out of this whole situation of with them having Hemphill help the prosecution against the defense of the Scorpion 5 is this. Excuse me, I'm sorry. The first thing is the city does not, I think the city wants them to take deals. I don't think the city wants this to go to trial. And the reason why I say I don't think the city wants this to go to trial is 2 things, 2 main things. One is negative press, more negative press to the city of Memphis. They're already on the hot seat. The rest of the world is watching. They'd rather be done with it quick. 2, it would be a waste of funds for them to go to trial. They have no case. They don't. They don't. If you really pay attention to it, and this is just how I'm thinking about it. Remember when they said, oh, we got more evidence, we got all this footage, and all this footage is supposed to come out, and then the footage never came out? Okay. I think that was purposely done. Now, remember they said lawyers was like, hey, let's suppress the footage and all this other stuff? Might have been true, but it might have been a bluff as well. Honestly, think about it. It might have been a bluff. It was a tactic the prosecution used. Then, hey, we're going to move this back because we got so much evidence. Remember, they wanted to move it back from yesterday to they wanted to move it to June, but the judge was like, okay, we'll move it to mid-May, which is this month, right? 2 weeks, because they wanted to move this. Remember, guys, they wanted to move this because they said they have so much overwhelming information and evidence that they're having a hard time putting it all together. And that struck me as odd because I'm like, man, I mean, they must have witnesses, eyewitness accounts on separate, on the street from people and all this stuff. And they still might have. But I'm like, man, it's going to take them all the way to June to get all this stuff set up. This is what I think. I think they were working out the particulars on a deal with Preston Hemphill before letting everybody else know publicly and letting the Scorpion 5 know. Now, this is their smoking gun. They put it out there. They pointed it at the defense. What are you going to do? Hemphill's on our side. He's going to tell on you. That's the first thing. I think the city want to be done with this. They don't want to spend the funds for the trial when they know they have no case. So they got to pay out this huge thing to Tyre Nichols' family, civil suits and all kind of stuff going on. They just want to end this thing and get it out of the way. That's the first thing. Second thing is this. I want to know what was offered to Preston Hemphill in return to his testimony. Because if you pay attention, they're trying to make it like he was fully cooperative. I'll tell you anything you want to know. Yeah, it was wrong what they did and all this and I. Nobody does nothing like this to this extreme. Something like this for nothing. They had to have offered him something. If it's not his job back, it's the ability to be a police officer or stay in law enforcement, not in the city of Memphis. Think about it. They don't have to say if they reclassify him or not. He just won't be a cop here. They offered him something nice for him to do that. And I'm going to tell you why it had to be something grand. He knows these people. He got to sit up there and look them in their face and say, you did it. He's eaten lunch. He's hung out. They caused bullshit and mischief together. You know what I'm saying? Co-workers, probably been over their house. He's friends with a couple of them. That's very hard for him to do. So you had to what? Sweeten the pot. Now, I'm not doing this for money, but it's something in exchange that helps him immensely. Think about it. Let's go to number 3. I think, honestly, Tyre Nichols' family just want closure. They got the civil suits in order. They just don't want to go in court, honestly, and have this brought back up. Remember, his mother never seen the video. So it's kind of one of them things where, like in the beginning, they was trying to get first-degree murder. Then they explained to them why they would get second-degree murder and why they're being accused of second-degree murder, charged with it. They was like, okay, we understand. They were fully cooperation and understanding and trusting in the DA. So the DA go to them and say, listen, this is just me talking. Hemphill, we're going to drop the charge against Hemphill because remember, he didn't go to this thing. He didn't do this with your son in the second stop. Yeah, he was there at the first stop and made it, explain to them. They conceded, okay, that's cool. We'll deal with that. As long as these motherfuckers get what they get, we are with it. I can't blame them. I don't know what they're going through. I don't know what the situation is. I don't think it's fair if I said anything bad about it or you guys, being honest, because they're the ones that suffered the greatest loss. So I think the family wants closure. As long as these dudes go to jail for what they did to their child, you know what I mean? I think that's what they're dealing with. Now, this is the last thing. And this is a little bit, just hear me out on this. Now, Hemphill was given a deal. He fully cooperated and all this stuff, right? Like I said, you had to offer him something real big in return because nobody does nothing for nothing. Anything does something for nothing. If Hemphill was black, think about this. Do you think he would have been offered that deal, or do you think he'd be lawyered up and sitting with them anyway? Because they said, oh, Hemphill just got out the car. He wasn't there when they pulled him out of the car. He just went out there and just tried to apprehend Tyre Nichols on instructions, like he was flying blind to the situation. Go back and look at the video. when he got out of the car, Tyree Nichols was still in the car. So he seen Tyree Nichols get pulled out the car. So you just as bad as everybody else. I don't understand. Then he said in another video, he tased Tyree. And Tyree was, before he tased Tyree, Tyree was running to another car, a open police door of a police car. What was he going to do, steal it? He was trying to get away. He was bombarded with all them hands and tasers. Come on, man. Guys, listen. I think if Hemphill was a black dude, he'd be sitting up there with a lawyer, biting his fingernails off to the bone too. Think about it. He would. He didn't chase him. He did the fuck too. You seen him run to the block where I was standing when I went and visited the crime scene. Either way, man, I don't know. This is not going to go to trial. It's not. They already set this thing up. They got their discoveries. They know what they're facing. Hemphill got dirt on them. You know he do, because they was all doing dirt together in the street. And I mean, you got a cop telling on you. And that's the thing that's messed up about the justice system. They'll get Hemphill up there, and he'll be talking the great white hope. He'll be up there. Oh, they did this, they did that. I was there. I did this, I did that. I didn't do that. But if you really look at it, you know what I'm saying? I want to see if they cross-examine him, because they got dirt on him too. And, you know, you got all that audio. You did say some crazy stuff, Preston. But they made you immune to the situation. Because the defense, all the defense is going to do is try to prove that he's fraudulent and he's this and he's that. But they can't do that without proving that they're fraudulent as well, other officers. But we'll see how this goes. If they try to go to trial, they're idiots. But I honestly think, guys, you know, like some of you guys in the comments left comments, and I do appreciate you guys, they're not going to trial. This right here, this saved the city of Memphis. The biggest winner is the city of Memphis, honestly. I don't think Tyree Nichols' family was the biggest winner if they take deals. But it is what it is. As always, guys, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stock Market Steve with the Dynamic Reason channel. Just 4 questions to ponder. That's all. And I'll see you in the next video.